Christian is a person who adheres to Christianity, an Abrahamic, monotheistic religion based on the life and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. Christian derives from the Koine Greek word Christos, a translation of the biblical Hebrew term mashiach. There are diverse interpretations of Christianity which sometimes conflict. However, whatever else they might disagree about, Christians are at least united in believing that Jesus has a unique significance. The term Christian is also used adjectively to describe anything associated with Christianity, or in a proverbial sense all that is noble, and good, and Christ-like. It is also used as a label to identify people who associate with the cultural aspects of Christianity, irrespective of personal religious beliefs or practices. Etymology: the Greek word inanawat I to the first I florin I to the first I plus or minus I 1/2 IY, meaning follower of Christ, comes from inanawat I to the first I florin IY, meaning anointed one, with an adjectival ending borrowed from Latin to denote adhering to, or even belonging to, as in slave ownership. In the Greek Septuagint, Christós was used to translate the Hebrew oj unregistered trademark, o, meaning, one who is anointed. In other European languages, equivalent words to Christian are likewise derived from the Greek, such as copyright 10 in French and cristiano in Spanish. Early usage: the first recorded use of the term is in the New Testament, in Acts 11:26, after Barnabas brought Saul to Antioch where they taught the disciples for about a year. The text says, "The disciples were called Christians first in Antioch." The second mention of the term follows in Acts 26:28, where Herod Agrippa II replied to Paul the Apostle, "Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian." The third and final New Testament reference to the term is in 1 Peter 4:16, which exhorts believers, "Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf." Kenneth Samuel West holds that all three original New Testament verses' usages reflect a derisive element in the term Christian to refer to followers of Christ who did not acknowledge the Emperor of Rome. The city of Antioch, where someone gave them the name Christians, had a reputation for coming up with such nicknames. However, Peter's apparent endorsement of the term led to its being preferred over Nazarenes, and the term Christianoi from 1 Peter becomes the standard term in the early Church Fathers from Ignatius and Polycarp onwards. The earliest occurrences of the term in non-Christian literature include Josephus, referring to the tribe of Christians, so named from him. Pliny the Younger in correspondence with Trajan. And Tacitus, writing near the end of the 1st century. In the Annals he relates that by vulgar appellation, they were commonly called Christians, and identifies Christians as narrow scapegoats for the Great Fire of Rome. Nazarenes, another term for Christians which appears in the New Testament is Nazarenes, which is used by the Jewish lawyer Tertullus in Acts 24. Tertullian records that the Jews call us Nazarenes, while around 331 AD Eusebius records that Christ was called a Nazarene from the name Nazareth, and that in earlier centuries Christians were once called Nazarenes. The Hebrew equivalent of Nazarenes, Notzrim, occurs in the Babylonian Talmud, and is still the modern Israeli Hebrew term for Christian. Modern usage: a wide range of beliefs and practices is found across the world among those who call themselves Christian. There is usually a consensus among many denominations about what defines a Christian, but disagreement does exist among some sects and denominations on a common definition of Christianity. Philosopher Michael Martin, in his book The Case Against Christianity, evaluated 3 historical Christian creeds to establish a set of basic assumptions which include belief in theism, the historicity of Jesus, the incarnation, salvation through faith in Jesus, and Jesus as an ethical role model. Hebrew terms: as the identification of the Messiah with Jesus is not accepted within Judaism, the Talmudic term for Christians in Hebrew is Notzrim, originally derived from the fact that Jesus came from the village of Nazareth in Israel. However, Messianic Jews are referred to in modern Hebrew as unregistered trademark, unregistered trademark K, unregistered trademark, unregistered trademark, unregistered trademark. Arabic terms: in Arabic-speaking cultures, 2 words are commonly used for Christians: Nasrani, Plural Nazra is generally understood to be derived from Nazareth through the Syriac. Masali means followers of the Messiah. Where there is a distinction, Nasrani refers to people from a Christian culture and Masali means those with a religious faith in Jesus. In some countries Nasrani tends to be used generically for non-Muslim white people. Another Arabic word sometimes used for Christians, particularly in a political context, is Salibi from Salib, which refers to crusaders and has negative connotations. Asian terms. The Syriac term Nasrani has also been attached to the St. Thomas Christians of Kerala, India. In the Indian subcontinent, Christians call themselves Isai, and are also known by this term to adherents of other religions. This is related to the name they call Jesus, Isa Mausi. In the past, the Malays used to call the Portuguese Sarani from the Arabic Nasrani. Today the term Sarani is used for the Creole Christian community of Malaysia today. The Chinese word is Ice 3/4, literally Christ follower. The two characters now pronounced Jia Da in Mandarin Chinese, were originally pronounced Kitu in Cantonese as representation of Latin Christo. Likewise in Vietnam the same two characters read Kia Si, and a follower of Christianity is a Tawena Kia Si Gio. In Japan, the term Christian, from Portuguese Cristapaundo, referred to Roman Catholic Christians in the 16th and 17th centuries before the religion was banned by the Tokugawa shogunate. Today Christians are referred to in standard Japanese as Kuristo Kaya to a florin to the first to florini unregistered trademark a 3/4, or the English-derived term Kurisuchan a florin to the first to florin a florin c florin cubed. Korean still uses Kidok Kyo-do for Christian, though the Greek form Kurisudo Eish has now replaced the old Sino-Korean Kidok for Christ himself. Russian terms, region of modern Eastern Europe and Central Eurasia have a long history of Christianity and Christian communities on its lands. In ancient times, first centuries after the birth of Christ, when this region was called Scythia, Christians already lived there. Later here the first Christian states emerged, among them, Great Russian Principality. People of that time used to denote themselves Christians and Russians. Both terms had strong Christian connotations. It is also interesting that time by time the term thn euro th micron n and on th 1/2 th micron got the meaning peasants of Christian faith, and later peasants the main part of population of the region. Term nn euro th nn th degree th 1/2 th micron saved his meaning and term n euro n florin nn th micron began to mean representatives of heterogeneous Russian nation formed on the basis of common Christian faith and language, which strongly influenced the history and development of the region. In the region Pravoslav faith, or Russian faith from earliest times became almost as known as the original Christian faith. Also in some contexts the term Cossack was used to denote free Christians of steppe origin and Russian language. Demographics. As of the early 21st century, Christianity has around 2.1 billion adherents. The faith represents about a quarter to a third of the world's population and is the largest religion in the world, with approximately 38,000 Christian denominations. Christians have composed about 33% of the world's population for around 100 years. The largest Christian denomination is the Roman Catholic Church, with 1.17 billion adherents, representing half of all Christians. Notable individuals. Christians have made a myriad contributions in a broad and diverse range of fields, including the sciences, arts, politics, literatures and business. According to 100 Years of Nobel Prizes, a review of Nobel Prizes award between 1901 and 2000 reveals that of Nobel Prizes laureates, have identified Christianity in its various forms as their religious preference. See also: Christendom, Christian Church, Conversion to Christianity, Cultural Christian, List of Christian synonyms, Lists of Christians, Rise Christian, referring to people who profess Christianity for material benefits. Bibliography, Etymology, Bickerman, Elias J. The Name of Christians. The Harvard Theological Review 42, 109 124. JSTORA 1507955 also available in Bickerman, Elias J. Studies in Jewish and Christian History. ISBN A90-04-04395-0. West, Kenneth Samuel. West's Word Studies from the Greek New Testament 1. ISBN A978-0-8028-2280-2. References